Chapter 1. The Compatibility Disaster. Zane Holloway already knew today would be bad the moment he woke up and his alarm clock blasted itself into pieces with a psychic backlash. But the day insisted on getting worse. The training hall echoed with shouts as Zane's energy spiraled out of control during a sparring drill. He dodged one attack barely, and the stress made his power flare in a sharp, explosive burst. A shockwave rolled across the room, knocking students over and rattling windows. The ceiling lights flickered. Someone screamed. The instructors ducked. And then the silence hit, followed by the whisper he dreaded. He needs a guide. A permanent one. Zane gritted his teeth. I don't need a sitter. But the staff didn't listen. They herded him down the corridor like a malfunctioning bomb, forcing him into the compatibility room and sitting him in front of a humming, glowing machine that looked like a high-tech confession booth. Zane slumped in the chair, arms crossed, scowl deep. His energy buzzed under his skin. Uneasy, unbalanced, and very ready to embarrass him again. The door slid open. Zane looked up, ready to reject whoever walked in, and promptly forgot how to speak. A young man stepped in wearing slippers, actual fuzzy slippers. His hair was tousled in an "I woke up 5 minutes ago" way. His hoodie was too big, sliding slightly off one shoulder. His eyes were soft, half hidden under heavy lashes, still carrying sleep. He held a muffin. He blinked at Zane. Hi, I'm Cairo Mercer. Sorry I'm late. I kinda overslept by like 2 hours. Zane stared at him. You're the guide candidate? Cairo nodded calmly. Yup, certified and everything. He took a bite of his muffin like he wasn't standing in front of the Academy's most unstable Esper. Zane opened his mouth, probably to say something snarky, but he didn't get the chance. The compatibility machine lit up, loudly, violently, like it was about to ascend into the heavens. 100% match, perfect union. The text flashed in colors Zane was pretty sure weren't scientifically possible. Zane nearly fell out of his chair. What? That's impossible. He just walked in wearing slippers. Cairo looked down. They're comfortable. Zane's heart did something weird, like a skipped beat mixed with a panic attack. The machine beeped again, as if annoyed. Esper response. Elevated. Guide response. Steady and compatible. Cairo blinked at the glowing screen. Ha, cool. I've never had a perfect match before. Zane felt heat spike up his neck. His powers reacted sharply to Cairo's presence, buzzing hot, restless, and embarrassingly eager. It was like his energy leaned toward Cairo without permission. That scared him more than the sparring explosion. He stood abruptly. Listen, this has to be a mistake. I don't. Cairo walked closer. Too close. Zane's powers hummed like a live wire. Cairo tilted his head, studying him gently. You're buzzing. Zane's throat dried. I am what? Cairo pointed at his chest. Right here. Your energy. It's trying to reach me. Zane took a step back. Fast. That's not. That doesn't happen. Cairo smiled softly, like he found it cute. Guess it does with me. Zane's heartbeat stumbled. Suddenly the room felt too warm, too small, too intimate. And Zane realized something horrifying. This sleepy-eyed, slipper-wearing, muffin-munching guide was dangerous. Not because he could calm Zane's energy, but because he made it feel good. Zane swallowed hard as Cairo met his eyes, gentle, inviting, as if he already knew Zane's storms and wasn't afraid. Looks like we're partners now, Cairo said softly. Zane tried to speak, failed, scowled, and muttered, This day hates me. But deep down, deep down, a part of him whispered something else. This might not be a disaster. It might be the beginning. Chapter 2, First Sync and First Disaster. The training room reserved for first syncs looked calm enough. Soft lighting, padded floors, and a big sign reminding Espers not to panic. Zane panicked anyway. He sat stiffly on one end of the mat, arms crossed, jaw tight. His energy flickered around him like heat waves. On a scale of mild stress to "this room is going to explode," He was uncomfortably close to the second one. Cairo Mercer, meanwhile, entered holding a thermos of coffee. Slippers. Again. Zane stared. Do you own real shoes? Cairo blinked. Do slippers not count? No. Cairo took that in quietly, then walked over and sat beside Zane. Too close, as always, like he didn't know Espers could accidentally vaporize furniture when overwhelmed. The instructor clapped her hands once. Okay, boys, this is your first synchronization session. It'll be gentle, slow, and you only need to lightly... Cairo, watch your step. Cairo tripped. On absolutely nothing. He pitched forward and landed directly on Zane's lap. The instructor made a sound like she'd ruptured something internally. Zane's powers went boom. The lights flickered. The floor vibrated. The air crackled with a sudden surge of energy that could have powered a small city. Cairo blinked up at him from Zane's lap, apparently unfazed by the chaos he just caused. Oh, gravity got me again. Get off. Zane sputtered, face beet red. Cairo calmly rolled off and settled beside him again like nothing happened. Zane, however, was internally screaming. Let's try this again, the instructor said with dying optimism. Take each other's hands. Zane stared at her like she had asked him to jump into a volcano. But Cairo simply held his hands out, palms up, warm and steady. Zane hesitated. His chest tightened. Touching a guide was intimate, dangerously intimate when matched at 100%. But Cairo's expression was quiet, patient, almost soft. So Zane slowly placed his hands into Cairo's. The effect was immediate. Warmth flowed through him like a rising tide, quiet but powerful, easing the frantic pulses of his energy. His heartbeat softened. His breathing steadied. The colors around him shifted from sharp to calm. Cairo closed his eyes, expression softening as his thumbs brushed lightly across the backs of Zane's hands. Small, grounding strokes that sent heat curling up Zane's arms. Your energy feels intense, Cairo murmured, like a sun trying to fit into a lantern. Zane stared at him. That sounds painful. It's beautiful, Cairo corrected gently. Zane absolutely malfunctioned. His power spiked again, bright, wanting. Only this time it didn't explode outward. It reached for Cairo, pulled toward him, curled around him like unseen hands. Cairo inhaled softly, his fingers tightening slightly around Zane's. Oh, he whispered. You're responding fast. Zane's breath caught. Is that bad? Cairo shook his head. His voice dropped an octave. Warm, low, unintentionally intimate. No, it means your energy wants mine. Zane felt something flip upside down in his chest. Oh, the instructor cleared her throat loudly. Yes, wonderful, very connected. Maybe dial it back a tiny bit. You're making the light fixtures sweat. Neither of them moved. Cairo's forehead brushed Zane's gently. Barely a touch, but enough to send another surge of electricity through him. Relax, Cairo whispered, his breath feathering across Zane's lips. You're sinking beautifully. Zane exhaled shakily. He wasn't sure what scared him more, how good it felt, or how much he didn't want Cairo to let go. When the session finally ended, the instructor practically fled the room whispering something about early retirement. Zane sat there, staring at his still tingling hands. Cairo sipped his coffee and said casually, We should do that again. Zane nearly combusted. Chapter 3. First Contact and Complete Disaster. Zane Holloway had survived explosions, psychic overloads, and a professor who once assigned 50 pages of Esper theory overnight. But nothing had prepared him for sitting 2 feet away from Cairo Mercer in a quiet, dim-lit evaluation room. Cairo stood by the window, sleeves rolled up, hair falling over his forehead in just messy enough waves that made it look deliberate. He skimmed Zane's file like he was reading the weather report. Cairo muttered. For past episodes of destabilization. Impressive. That's not. You're not supposed to say it like you're complimenting me. Cairo looked up, unfazed. I wasn't complimenting you. I was judging you. Oh, great, Zane muttered. My official guide is a menace. Cairo replied without looking up. Please sit. Zane sat. Immediately, the tension in the room doubled. Because Cairo sat right in front of him, knees almost touching Zane's, completely unaffected, while Zane's heartbeat decided to run a sprint. All right, Cairo said, voice calm and smooth. We're going to perform a compatibility test. Just light contact. Light contact where? Zane asked suspiciously. Cairo raised a brow. You sound nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm cautious. There's a difference. Sure, Cairo said flatly. Give me your hand. Zane blinked. Twice. That's a lot of commitment. It's literally a hand. Zane reluctantly lifted it. Cairo took his wrist gently, thumb brushing the inside of Zane's arm. Boom. The energy hit instantly. A rush of warmth that shot from Zane's hand up his arm, across his chest, spiraling through him like someone had flipped a hidden switch. Zane inhaled sharply. Wait. Hold on, that's... Cairo frowned. I haven't even started yet. You what? Cairo's touch warmed again as he sent controlled guiding pulses into Zane's system, slow and steady like ripples on water. Zane's breath caught because it wasn't just energy. It was tender, intimate, like a hand on his heartbeat. Too intimate. Okay. Stop. Zane gasped. Cairo immediately released him. Zane's energy flared wildly, making his chair rattle, his hair lift with static. Cairo blinked. Wow. Don't wow me. That was reactive. You think. Cairo leaned forward, elbows on his knees, studying him. Zane, that wasn't normal. You felt that before I even activated the guiding flow. Zane's face burned. Maybe you're just, I don't know, overpowered. Cairo snorted. I'm mid-tier. Relax. Then why did it feel like you sucked the air out of the room? Cairo's lips twitched. Maybe we're very compatible. That shut Zane up instantly. His brain went blank, melted, rebooted, and still refused to process those words. Compatible. That means that I can stabilize you better than most guides. Cairo shrugged. Maybe even perfectly. Zane felt faint. Cairo leaned closer, close enough for Zane to feel his breath. Let's try again, he murmured. Slower this time. Slower. Zane swallowed hard. Wait. Maybe we should take a break. Maybe water. Maybe a nap. Maybe we leave the country. But Cairo held out his hand again. Zane stared at it like it was a trap. Trust me, Cairo said gently. Something in his tone, steady, warm, unexpectedly soft, made Zane's chest tighten. After a shaky breath, Zane placed his hand in Cairo's again. This time the energy flowed warmer, softer, like someone wrapping a blanket around his mind. Zane's shoulders relaxed involuntarily. His pulse steadied. Cairo's thumb brushed his wrist again, intentionally this time. Good, he said quietly. Stay with me. Zane felt heat crawl up his neck. This is weird. Guiding. No. You. Cairo chuckled under his breath, low and unfairly attractive. You're doing fine. Tell me if it gets too much. Zane wanted to say it was already too much, but the warmth was addictive, deep and slow and grounding in a way he didn't know he craved. Then, flash, a burst of bright energy shot from Zane, making Cairo jolt and both of their chairs slide back. Zane clutched his chest. What was that? Cairo stared at him, and for the first time he looked truly shaken. That, Cairo whispered, was a synchronization spike. What does that mean? Cairo swallowed. It means you and I just had the reaction of a high-level bonded pair. Zane's eyes widened. That can't be right. We just met. Cairo stood slowly, running a hand through his hair. Well, he said, voice still trying to stay calm. This is a problem. A problem? What kind of problem? Cairo looked at him, expression unreadable, voice dropping to a low murmur. The kind that's going to make training with you extremely complicated. Their eyes locked. Energy hummed between them, dangerous, warm, unmistakably intimate. And Zane realized he was never getting out of this one alive. Chapter 4. Static Between Us. Morning sunlight poured through the training hall windows, warm and too cheerful for what Zane felt inside. He'd been wide awake since dawn, his mind still replaying the moment Cairo touched him the night before. The memory stayed on his skin like a stubborn afterglow. Zane stood in the sparring ring, trying to look composed. Cairo walked in a moment later, hoodie half-zipped, hair still messy from sleep, carrying a cup of coffee like nothing in the world was wrong. Zane nearly imploded. Cairo glanced at him, blinked once, and smiled. Morning sunshine. You look like you fought a tornado. It's called having emotions, thanks, Zane muttered. Cairo sipped his coffee calmly. Can't relate. Zane clicked his tongue, trying not to stare at the Cupid's bow mouth on his cup. You're unbelievable. Cairo walked closer, leaning on the ring ropes. Hey, you're the one who practically passed out from a tiny touch yesterday. It wasn't tiny. You practically fried my whole nervous system. That's called compatible guiding energy, Cairo replied. Also known as we vibe. Zane's heart thudded so loudly he swore the universe could hear it. Stop saying stuff like that so casually. Why? It's true. Cairo stepped inside the ring. Zane stepped back. Unfortunately, the ring was only so big, and Cairo kept walking slow, deliberate strides that felt like they were synced with Zane's pulse. Relax, Cairo said softly. We're just practicing. Define just. Calibration training. He tapped Zane's forehead. You're buzzing again. Zane grabbed his wrist on instinct and froze. The moment their skin connected, his Esper energy flared up in a warm rush, filling his chest, spiraling down his spine, making his breath catch. It wasn't painful. It wasn't overwhelming. It was addictive. Zane's voice dropped, unintentionally breathy. You're doing the thing again. Cairo blinked. What thing? That calm voice. And the energy thing. The melting my brain thing. Zane. Cairo's tone lowered. That's literally my job. Zane groaned into his hands. Your job is going to get me in trouble. Cairo laughed softly. Warm, low, unfairly attractive. You're cute when you're flustered. Zane's soul evacuated his body. Cairo nudged closer, their chests barely an inch apart. Okay, he said. Let's run a simple regulation exercise. Sit. Why do you say sit like I'm a cat? Because you react instantly. That's hey. But Zane sat anyway. Cairo knelt behind him, knees bracketing Zane's hips, his warmth wrapping around him like a blanket. His hands hovered over Zane's shoulders but didn't touch yet. Tell me if it's too much, Cairo murmured. Zane swore the temperature rose 10 degrees. Then Cairo's hands landed. Zane's breath stuttered. Electric warmth flowed into him in slow, steady waves. His muscles loosened against his will. His eyes fluttered shut. His head tilted back slightly, too far for dignity but just right for wanting. Cairo's voice dropped near his ear. Good, just like that. Let your energy follow mine. Zane didn't know if he wanted to snarl or melt. Maybe both. Cairo shifted closer. Zane could feel every controlled breath against his back. You're doing great, Cairo whispered. Stay with me. Zane swallowed hard. His voice came out quiet, shaky. Cairo, this feels, you're too close. You say that, Cairo replied, leaning even closer. But you're not moving. Zane's face went nuclear. He tried to turn, but Cairo's hands gently steadied him. Easy. Almost done. Warmth spread through Zane's spine like a slow-burning ember. Intense but comforting, grounding but intimate. The kind of touch that could pull secrets out of someone. Then Cairo let go. Zane almost whimpered at the loss. Cairo circled in front of him, crouched low, and lifted his chin with one finger. Zane froze. Completely. You did well, Cairo murmured, eyes softer than usual. Really well. Zane's heart hammered so loudly he couldn't hear anything else. And Cairo kept looking at him. A second too long. A breath too close. Then he pulled away, standing up like nothing happened. Same time tomorrow? Cairo asked casually. Zane sputtered. Tomorrow. After that. Cairo shrugged. It's training. No, that was fun. Cairo smirked. Zane buried his face in his hands again. Unbelievable. Cairo laughed as he headed toward the exit. You love it. The worst part? Zane wasn't sure he could deny it anymore. Chapter 5. Sparks, interruptions, and jealousy. Zane should have been proud of himself. He survived a whole night after Cairo's Close Your Eyes and Melt training session. That alone was medal-worthy. But the next morning, he walked into the common hall and immediately felt heat flare in his chest, because someone was laughing with Cairo. A guy, tall, perfect posture, sharp jawline, guide uniform fitted like it was tailored for a magazine shoot, and way too close to Cairo. Zane stopped walking. The guy tapped Cairo's arm, grinning. Seriously? You got assigned the Holloway case? Man, good luck. He overloaded 2 senior guides last year. Zane blinked. Cairo didn't look annoyed. He looked amused. Well, Cairo said dryly. He reacts differently to me. The guy raised an eyebrow. Differently as in easier? Or differently as in volatile? Zane marched over before he even realized his feet were moving. I can hear you, you know. Zane snapped, arms crossed. Both men turned. Cairo's eyes softened a little. Barely noticeable, but Zane caught it. The other guy. He gave Zane a full once-over, like analyzing a creature in the wild. So you're Holloway. He smirked. Cute. I expected someone taller. Zane's eye twitched. Hi. Who are you exactly? Cairo's, what? Fanboy? Shadow? Emotional support furniture. Cairo coughed to hide a laugh. The guy smiled. I'm Ren Harwood, senior guide. Cairo and I trained together. A friend. Close friend. Fantastic. Just what Zane needed, competition with perfect cheekbones. Anyway, Ren continued casually, Cairo and I were just talking about the evaluation yesterday. He was saying how strongly you reacted. Cairo shot him a warning look. Ren ignored it. Zane narrowed his eyes. Is that supposed to be an insult? No, Ren said. It means your compatibility readings were high. He paused. Very high. Cairo rubbed his neck awkwardly. Zane blinked. What does that mean? Ren smiled. Oh, nothing major. Just that if Cairo pushes too much energy into you, you might. Cairo cut in quickly. Ren. Ren lifted his hands. Fine. I won't traumatize the kid. Zane bristled. I'm not a kid. Cairo finally stepped closer, placing a steadying hand on Zane's back, subtle but firm. Heat shot through Zane instantly, the familiar warm pulse of Cairo's guiding energy brushing over him like a slow exhale. Zane's breath caught. He hated how easily Cairo could do that. Or maybe he didn't hate it at all. Ren definitely noticed. Oh wow, Ren murmured. You two haven't fully bonded yet, but your energy already responds like that? He grinned wickedly. Cairo, you're in trouble. Cairo's jaw clenched. Ren, stop. But Ren only smirked wider. This is interesting. I've never seen you this reactive either. Cairo's cheeks colored, just slightly, but enough that Zane's heart did a backflip. Zane blurted, reactive? What does that mean? What is happening? Cairo grabbed his wrist. Zane, we're leaving. What, why, hey Cairo. Cairo practically dragged him down the hallway and into the nearest empty practice room. The door shut behind them with a soft click. Zane was still flustered. He. What was wrong with letting me stand there for 2 minutes? Cairo pinched the bridge of his nose. Because your energy was spiking. It spikes when you touch me anywhere. Cairo paused. His voice dropped. Exactly. Zane blinked. Huh? Cairo stepped closer. Not aggressively. Not even intentionally intimidating. Just close. Close enough that Zane felt warmth radiate off him again. You're sensitive to guiding contact, Cairo said quietly. Especially mine. If Ren kept provoking you, your energy might have synced with mine again. Too strongly. Too fast. Zane's cheeks burned. Oh! Cairo swallowed, eyes flicking to Zane's lips for half a second. Far too obvious. Zane felt something flip in his stomach. So, Zane murmured, daring. You pulled me away because you were worried about me? Cairo looked away. No. I pulled you away because you were jealous and obvious. Zane choked. Jealous? I'm not. I wasn't. Cairo leaned in slightly. His voice softened in that dangerous, melting way. Zane, you stormed over like someone insulted your favorite dessert. I just didn't like his smile. You glared at him like he stole your soulmate. Okay, maybe a little, but that's not. Cairo smirked, smug and devastating. Zane grabbed his jacket and pulled him down level with his face. Wipe that smile off, I swear. Zane. The room pulsed with warmth. Zane froze. Cairo froze. Their energy surged, colliding, wrapping, entwining, too strong, too sudden. A burst of golden sparks flickered between their hands where Zane gripped Cairo's jacket. Cairo inhaled sharply. Stop. Don't. Zane, your energy. If we sink again, I won't be able to. But Zane couldn't move, couldn't breathe, because Cairo's face was inches from his. And every instinct said lean in. Cairo whispered, breath shaky for once. Let go. Before I pull you all the way in. Zane did, barely. He released Cairo's jacket and stepped back, chest pounding. Cairo exhaled slowly, rubbing his temples. You're going to be the end of me. Zane swallowed. You started it. Cairo gave a small, breathless laugh. No, trust me. You did. The room stayed charged and warm for a long moment before Cairo finally spoke again. Training, he said, voice steadier. Same time this afternoon. Zane tried to regain dignity. Fine, but don't bring Mr. Perfect jawline again. Cairo snorted. You really were jealous. Zane slapped his arm. Shut up. But as Cairo walked past him, Zane didn't miss the small smile tugging at his lips. Chapter 6. Nightmares, glowing hands, and almost. Zane didn't mean to fall asleep. He definitely didn't mean to fall asleep on the training mats like a corpse after Cairo made him run 20 rounds of focus drills, which was really just a fancy phrase for torture while staring at Cairo's stupidly pretty face. But evening turned into night, the campus lights dimmed, and somewhere between push-ups and stop glaring at me, it's distracting, Zane passed out. He woke to a nightmare. Heat, pressure, static roaring in his ears, his heart thundering like a broken engine. His Esper energy surged, wild, frantic, uncontrolled. His vision blurred with white sparks. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Then, a voice. Low, calm, familiar. Zane. Hey, look at me. Hands cupped his face gently, grounding him. A warm pulse of guiding energy slid through his chest like a slow, steady wave. Zane gasped, eyes snapping open. Cairo was kneeling in front of him. Messy hair, hoodie half unzipped. Worry painted across his usually calm expression. Are you with me? Cairo whispered. Zane's breath trembled. Cairo, I couldn't, it felt like. I know, Cairo murmured. Your energy was spiking from across the hall. It woke me. Zane blinked. You felt me? From that far? Cairo swallowed. That's the problem. He shifted closer, knees brushing Zane's thighs. Zane's heart leaped. Cairo placed one hand on Zane's back, the other over his chest. Warmth spread instantly, deep, slow, intimate. Not the usual guiding pulse. Softer, personal. Zane shivered. That feels different. Cairo didn't deny it. Didn't even try. Your energy was panicking, he said quietly. I had to match it. Not regulate. Sync. Sync. Cairo nodded once. It's deeper. Stronger. I usually only do it with bonded pairs, but... He paused, voice tightening. You needed it. Zane stared at him. So close. So calm. So warm. Cairo, Zane whispered. Your hands are shaking. Cairo froze. Zane reached up hesitantly, touching Cairo's wrist. A shiver ran through both of them. Cairo's breath hitched. "Don't," he said softly. "If you touch me right now, your energy will latch onto mine." "Latch onto?" "It's like your soul reaching out," Cairo murmured. "Guides feel it strongest." Zane's cheeks warmed. "Is that bad?" Cairo looked at him with eyes too honest, too unguarded. "It's dangerous." "For who?" "For me." Zane's pulse pounded. "Then maybe you should let go." Cairo didn't. Instead, he slid closer, moving between Zane's legs to steady him better, body warm and close enough that Zane forgot how to inhale properly. Cairo whispered, "I'm not letting go until you're okay." Zane's stomach flipped. His throat went dry. His heart felt too big, too loud. "Your energy's still high," Cairo murmured. "Tell me what triggered the spike." Zane hesitated. Should he lie? Pretend it was stress? Training? A broken lamp? Or the truth? "I dreamed you were leaving," Zane said quietly. "Not just walking away. Like, you were fading." Cairo's breath caught. Slowly, he brushed his thumb across Zane's cheekbone. Tender, grounding, almost protective. "I'm not going anywhere." Zane swallowed hard. "Then why are you shaking?" Cairo's voice dropped to a low, quiet confession. "Because I've never synced this deeply with someone I'm not bonded to." Zane stared at him, dazed. "You mean with someone you're not in a relationship with?" A beat. Cairo didn't speak. Zane's heart flipped violently. Cairo leaned in, just slightly. Foreheads almost touching, breaths mingling in the dim, quiet room. Their energy hummed between them. Soft, golden, magnetic. "Zane," Cairo whispered. "Don't move." Zane didn't know if he could. Not when Cairo's face was inches away. Not when the warmth between them felt like liquid gravity. Cairo's hand slid from Zane's cheek to the back of his neck, gentle but firm. Zane inhaled sharply. Their lips hovered, close enough to feel the shape of the moment, close enough for Zane's breath to stutter. But then, a loud bang echoed outside. A door slamming. Cairo jerked back slightly. Zane nearly yelped from the sudden distance. A beat of silence. Then, Cairo cleared his throat quickly, face pink, energy trembling. "We, should get you back to your dorm," he said, voice cracking on the last word. Zane stared at him. "Did we almost?" "Nope," Cairo said instantly. "We absolutely almost." "No, we didn't." "Cairo." Cairo stood up in a rush. "Let's go." Zane followed, muttering, "Coward." "I heard that." "Good." But Cairo didn't argue, because both of them knew exactly what almost happened. And both of them knew it wouldn't stay almost for long. Chapter 7. The test we shouldn't take. The Academy's bonding lab was too bright, too white, too clean, too full of machines that beeped like they were judging Zane's life choices. "This is a terrible idea," Zane muttered as he followed Cairo inside. "Like, historically terrible. Like, let's touch the electric fence terrible." Cairo didn't look back. "That nightmare last night proved you need deeper stabilization." Zane crossed his arms. "I can stabilize myself." "You destabilized in your sleep, Zane." "Okay, point taken. But I don't see how putting us in a tiny room with glowing wires fixes anything." Cairo set a tablet on the counter. "It's just a compatibility scan." "You said that before and we almost..." Cairo coughed. "This is different." Zane narrowed his eyes. "Meaning worse." Cairo exhaled loudly, rubbing his forehead. "Meaning controlled." Zane watched him for a moment. The guide, who was always calm, looked tense. Nervous, even. "You okay?" Zane asked quietly. Cairo froze. "I'm fine." "Liar." Cairo sighed. "Zane." Zane stepped closer. "Cairo, what's going on?" For a long moment, Cairo didn't answer. Then, "A full compatibility scan," he murmured. "Shows emotional resonance, not just energy response." Zane blinked. "Emotional?" Cairo's jaw clenched. "Yes. That's why you're nervous? I'm not. Zane raised an eyebrow. Cairo gave up. Fine. Yes. I'm nervous. Because the scan could misinterpret things. It could say we're. He stopped. Zane waited. Cairo didn't finish. Great. Now Zane was nervous. The machine beeped, signaling activation. Cairo pointed to the platform. Sit. Zane sat. Cairo sat in front of him, knees touching his this time, no space, no safety net. Too close. Way too close. You'll feel warm pressure, Cairo said. Don't fight it. Zane muttered. If you say, pressure like that again, I'm leaving. Cairo ignored him and placed his hands lightly on Zane's wrists. Instant heat. Instant pulse. Instant urge to melt into him. Zane sucked in a breath. Too strong already? That's because we're in a sealed room, Cairo said quietly. Your energy has nowhere to escape. It's naturally moving towards mine. That's the opposite of comforting. But then the machine pulsed, flooding the room with soft gold light. Zane's energy surged instinctively, reaching for Cairo's, wrapping around it like a magnetic pull. Zane gasped, leaning forward. Cairo caught his shoulders firmly. Easy, stay with me. I can't. It's too much. I'm right here. The guiding flow deepened. Cairo's hands slid slowly from Zane's wrists to his forearms, then to his elbows, grounding him, steadying him. His grip was warm, confident, intimate enough to make Zane's chest stutter. Zane's voice shook. Cairo, what's happening? Cairo swallowed hard. Your energy is choosing. Zane's heart skipped. Choosing what? Cairo's expression tightened. Me. The machine beeped rapidly, faster and faster, reacting to their rising sync. Zane felt dizzy, heat spreading from his chest to his stomach, down his spine. Cairo, he whispered. Zane, listen. You need to breathe. You need to stop touching me like that. Cairo flinched but didn't pull away. Sorry, I can't. If I break contact now, the feedback will hit you too hard. Zane's breath shook, his hands gripping Cairo's jacket for balance. Their faces were close, too close. Cairo's breath brushed his lips. Zane? Cairo whispered, voice trembling for the first time ever. Look at me. Zane did. The machine reacted instantly, brightening, humming, glowing with a warm gold that wrapped the room like a cocoon. Cairo's pupils widened. The energy pulling between them tightened, gentle but desperate, like a gravity they couldn't defy. Cairo whispered, barely audible, this is a bonding response. Zane's breath caught. Are you saying we're? A loud alarm suddenly blared. Both of them jumped. The machine flashed red. Over-resonance detected. Immediate separation required. Cairo cursed under his breath. Zane, I'm going to pull away. Don't panic. Zane panicked. No, don't wait. Too late. Cairo broke contact. Zane's energy cracked through the air like a whip, exploding in bright sparks. He fell forward, chest tight, breath shaking uncontrollably. Zane! Cairo caught him mid-collapse, arms wrapping around him. Breathe, breathe. I've got you. Zane pressed his forehead against Cairo's shoulder, gripping his shirt desperately. Cairo, I can't stop. Cairo pulled him onto his lap, holding him tighter, grounding him with slow, deep pulses. It's okay. I'm here. I'm not letting go, I promise. Zane shivered against him as the warmth slowly filled the cracks. They stayed like that, wrapped around each other, breathing in sync, hearts tangled. After minutes, Zane finally whispered, voice small. You said it was a bonding response. Cairo didn't answer immediately. His voice came low, quiet, painfully honest. It means. He inhaled shakily. Your energy wants me. Zane froze. And mine? Cairo whispered, pressing his forehead to Zane's temple. Keeps answering. Zane's pulse exploded in his ears. Cairo swallowed hard. We're in trouble. Chapter 8. The bond deepens. Cairo thought he was prepared. He thought that after the rooftop incident, after almost accidentally linking, After Zane practically melted in his arms like some golden-eyed furnace of psychic heat, he would be ready for anything. But he was very, very wrong. Because nothing could have prepared him for Zane Holloway suddenly showing up at his apartment door at 11 at night, wearing fluffy pajama pants, a loose tank top, and a jacket thrown on so fast it was half unzipped. Cairo opened the door. Zane stood there, breath uneven, cheeks flushed. "I think my Esper energy is acting weird again," Zane blurted. Cairo blinked. "Weird how? Weird like, I might blow up the building? Or weird like, I need a hug?" "Somewhere in between," Zane muttered, stepping inside. The moment he passed the threshold, Cairo felt it. A warm, pressurized thrum against his chest, like Zane's aura was pulsing directly at him. Not out of control, but seeking. Hungry. "Cairo." Zane pressed a hand to his own neck. "It's stronger at night. I don't know why. And when I try to calm down my energy, it reaches for you." Cairo exhaled slowly. "Oh, great," he said under his breath. "My guide instincts are already dancing the cha-cha." Zane dropped onto Cairo's couch, burying his face in his hands. "This is embarrassing. Buddy, you broke into my place last month because you thought my toaster was spying on you. We passed embarrassing a long time ago. That was one time, and you were very passionate about it." Zane groaned loudly and collapsed backward into the cushions. Cairo walked over, lowering himself beside him. But the second he sat down, Zane's aura flared, hot, needy, pulling. There was no mistaking it. Zane needed a guide. Needed him. Cairo placed a hand on Zane's wrist, trying to be gentle. The reaction was instant. Zane's breath caught, and his muscles relaxed like Cairo had flipped the off switch to all his stress. "That helps too much," Zane muttered, voice low and unsteady. Cairo swallowed. Yeah. He felt it too. A warm rush pooling somewhere deep, thickening the room's air like heat haze. "Zane," he said softly. "Look at me." Zane turned his head. Golden eyes. Dilated. Searching. Drawn. Cairo felt something in his chest stutter. "Your energy isn't dangerous," Cairo said. "It's reacting to the bond. Even if we're not officially linked, our compatibility is high." "How high?" Zane whispered. "High enough that if I touch you more, we might end up doing something that requires a fade to black." Zane's face turned bright red. "Cairo, I warned you." Zane swallowed hard. Then quietly, "Maybe I don't mind." Silence. Cairo felt his heartbeat slam into his ribs. Zane wasn't teasing, wasn't joking. He was trembling, caught between wanting control and wanting comfort. Cairo lifted Zane's chin gently with 2 fingers. "Okay, come here." Zane leaned in before Cairo even finished speaking, sliding closer until their thighs touched. Their auras brushed, soft at first, then deeper, then almost intoxicating. Zane's voice shook. "Is this a guiding?" Cairo huffed a soft laugh. "It's the warm-up." Cairo placed his forehead against Zane's temple. Guide energy flowed gently, warm, soothing, intimate. Zane let out a soft, breathy sound, gripping Cairo's shirt like it kept him anchored to reality. "Feels good, too good." His voice had dropped, slow and thick, like he was melting from the inside. Cairo breathed out shakily. "You're extremely reactive." "You're extremely," Zane swallowed, voice cracking a little, "good at this." Cairo smiled, but it was a strained one. "Zane, if you sit any closer, I'm not responsible for what kind of scene YouTube is going to force us to censor." Zane froze, then slowly, deliberately, closed the remaining space between them anyway. Cairo's breath hitched. "Zane, just stay like this for a bit," Zane whispered. "Let me breathe. Let me not feel alone." That hit Cairo's chest harder than any aura spike. He wrapped an arm around Zane's shoulders, guiding softly, tenderly, but with a slow-building heat between them. A connection that felt like it could tip into something far more dangerous if either of them leaned even a little further. Zane relaxed fully, head resting against Cairo's collarbone, voice quiet and needy. "Cairo, don't let go." Cairo couldn't. Not when the bond between them felt like gravity itself. They stayed like that, warm, tangled, breath mixing, energy weaving and tugging, until Zane finally drifted to sleep against him, aura calm for the first time in hours. Cairo brushed Zane's hair softly and whispered to himself, "I'm so screwed." And he was, because right then, with Zane asleep in his arms, Cairo realized the truth he had been avoiding. He wasn't just guiding him. He was falling for him. Hard. Chapter 9, The Almost Link. Cairo woke up to the soft, warm weight of another human being draped over him. Took him a moment to remember what happened. Zane showing up at his door. Overflowing Esper energy. The heat. The way Zane practically folded into his arms like he finally found the one place he could breathe. Cairo blinked his sleep away just in time for Zane to stir against his chest. A soft groan. A stretch. Then, "Are we cuddling?" Cairo raised an eyebrow. "You climbed on top of me in your sleep. Don't blame me for your snuggling crimes." Zane sat up sharply, and immediately winced as his aura flared, unstable and bright. Cairo grabbed his wrist gently. Hey, slow. Breathe." Zane inhaled shakily, leaning into Cairo's touch before he could stop himself. Heat pulsed between them, warm and dizzying, like a low bass vibration under their skin. Cairo tried to ignore how much he liked it. "So, last night didn't fix anything?" Cairo asked, thumb brushing Zane's pulse point. Zane swallowed. "It helped. A lot. But the energy's still too much. Every time I wake up it's like it reaches for you." Cairo sighed. "Zane, you're going to make me think you actually want a bond." Zane didn't answer, which was an answer. Cairo's heart thumped once, hard enough to make him inhale. "Zane." Zane finally looked at him. Quietly, intensely, golden eyes too honest for this early in the morning. "I don't want to force you," Zane whispered. "But when I'm with you, everything stops hurting. Everything feels right." A pause. "And that scares me." Cairo felt something soften in his chest, dangerously. "Come here," he said. Zane hesitated just for a heartbeat before sliding closer. Their knees touched, then thighs, then hips. Cairo lifted both hands, gently cupping the sides of Zane's face. "Zane Holloway," he murmured. "You are very self-destructive for someone who claims to be responsible." Zane huffed a tense laugh. "You're one to talk. You guided me half asleep and didn't even break a sweat." Cairo leaned in a little. "Maybe you're easy to handle." Zane's breath hitched. "Try saying that again after I kiss you." Cairo froze. Zane realized what he said and turned bright red. "I mean, no. I didn't, that was—" Cairo smirked. "Ah. Look who's flustered at 7 a.m. Zane covered his face with both hands. "Cairo, I swear to the Psychic Council, if you keep teasing." But he never finished that sentence, because the next moment, their auras collided. Not softly, not gently. It was a pull, heavy, magnetic, impossible to fight, like two pieces of the same puzzle snapping together, bending reality for the sake of connection. Zane gasped, grabbing Cairo's shirt. Cairo felt the heat shoot straight through him, making his breath catch. "Zane, hold on." But the bond wasn't listening. It was instinct. Raw. Overwhelming. Light flickered across Zane's skin. Cairo's heartbeat synced with his. A warm, electric pressure wrapped around their chests like an embrace made of energy. This was a link initiation. A real one. And they were seconds away from sealing it. Cairo forced every ounce of willpower into pulling back, breaking the contact, even though it felt like tearing away from gravity itself. The energy snapped, leaving the room trembling. Zane collapsed forward, panting. Cairo caught him instantly. They stayed pressed together, foreheads touching, breaths uneven and hot. Cairo whispered, voice thick, "That was too close." Zane nodded weakly. "I know." Cairo held him tighter, fingers threaded in Zane's hair without meaning to. "Zane, if we had stayed connected for even one more second, we would have linked," Zane finished softly. Their breathing synced again, too naturally for two people who supposedly weren't bonded. Zane looked up, eyes still glowing faintly. Cairo, he whispered, voice trembling. Am I wrong for wanting it? Cairo exhaled shakily. Zane, you're not wrong. He brushed his thumb along Zane's cheek. You're dangerous. Zane's breath hitched, a soft sound escaping him. Cairo swallowed hard. And I'm starting to want it too. Zane froze. Then slowly, a smile spread across his lips. Small, fragile, but so full of warmth that Cairo almost forgot how to breathe. Cairo cleared his throat. Okay, breakfast. Before one of us accidentally bonds the other just by making eye contact. Zane snorted. Is that even possible? With our compatibility? I'm not ruling it out. Zane laughed. A real, soft, glowing laugh that made Cairo want to grab him and never let go. But the moment of lightness didn't last long. Because as Cairo stood up to get breakfast, Zane suddenly stiffened, aura spiking hard. What's wrong? Cairo asked, moving toward him. Zane's eyes widened. Someone's here. A knock echoed through the apartment. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Cairo tensed immediately. Zane whispered, voice barely audible. It's them. Chapter 10, The Final Decision. The knocks echoed through Cairo's apartment again. Slow, measured, too controlled to belong to anyone normal. Zane stood frozen in the middle of the living room, aura trembling. Cairo placed himself right in front of him without hesitation. Stay behind me. Zane grabbed the back of Cairo's shirt, fingers tight, voice barely steady. Cairo, it's the council. Cairo's blood ran cold. Seriously? At my apartment? At 7 in the morning? Zane swallowed hard. They must have sensed my energy spike last night. Linking signals travel far. Oh great, Cairo muttered through clenched teeth. We almost kissed the universe awake. Zane gave him a soft, terrified laugh. Cairo squeezed his hand. Another knock. This one sharper. Cairo Mercer. A voice called from the hallway. Open the door. Cairo rolled his eyes dramatically. I swear. These people act like they own the whole building. Zane tugged his sleeve. Cairo, don't joke. They're here because of me. Then they're welcome to be disappointed, Cairo said, marching toward the door. Zane grabbed his wrist again. Please be careful. Cairo softened. I'm always careful. That is a lie, Zane whispered. Fair point. Cairo opened the door. 2 council officers stood there. Tall, silent, dressed in dark uniforms that always made them look like they were on the verge of confiscating someone's soul. Mr. Holloway, Mr. Mercer. The lead officer nodded. We detected an incomplete link activation between you two at dawn. Cairo crossed his arms. And, Zane whispered, Cairo? But Cairo squeezed his hand behind his back. The officer continued, as you know, unregistered link attempts carry consequences. We need both of you to come with us for evaluation. Cairo raised a brow. Evaluation? At this hour? Can't it wait until I've had breakfast? No. Cairo leaned against the doorframe, clearly unimpressed. Well then, too bad. We're busy. The officer blinked. Busy? Yes. Cairo said with a straight face. Bonding. Zane slapped a hand over his own mouth to stop a noise that was half laugh, half scream. The officer frowned. This is not a joke, Mr. Mercer. Uncontrolled linking is dangerous. If Mr. Holloway's energy is destabilizing. His energy is fine, Cairo said firmly. There's no danger. I handled it. You what? The officer sputtered. Cairo shrugged casually. I'm a guide. Shocking, I know. The officers exchanged a look. Then Zane stepped forward, shoulders squared, voice steady. I wasn't out of control, he said. My energy reacted to Cairo because we're compatible. That's all. The officers eyed him carefully. And is this link consensual? Or is the guide imposing influence? Cairo scoffed. If I were influencing him, he'd be less annoying. Zane elbowed him sharply. Cairo winced. Okay. See? Not influenced. Zane took a breath, then spoke clearly. I'm choosing him. Silence poured into the hallway. Cairo's heart stopped. The officers looked between them and finally nodded. If both parties consent, the lead officer said, you may continue, but you must register the bond within 48 hours. Then both officers turned and left. Cairo shut the door slowly. Zane stood frozen in place. Cairo turned to him. You okay? Zane didn't answer. Instead, he walked toward Cairo with slow, deliberate steps, gaze locked onto him with an intensity that made Cairo's breath catch. Zane? Suddenly, Zane grabbed Cairo's collar, pulled him close, and pressed their foreheads together. His voice shook. I meant it, he whispered. I choose you. I keep choosing you. Even if the whole council shows up at your door every morning. Cairo swallowed hard, hands lifting to hold Zane's waist. Zane! Zane's aura wrapped around him, instantly warm, electric, aching for connection. Cairo shivered at the contact. I'm not scared anymore, Zane whispered. Not when I'm with you. Cairo breathed out shakily, brushing their noses together. Zane Holloway, do you know what you're asking for? Zane nodded. Yeah. A tiny pause, then softly, I want to link with you. Cairo felt his heart skip so violently he almost laughed. You're going to ruin me, he whispered. Zane smiled, gentle, real, full of something painfully tender. You say that like it's a bad thing. Cairo exhaled. Okay, he murmured, voice low and warm. Come here. He guided Zane slowly, one hand on his back, the other sliding up to cradle the back of his neck. Zane leaned into the touch instantly, aura blooming like sunrise. Their foreheads touched, their breaths mixed, their energy intertwined, soft at first, then deeper, then impossibly warm. Zane gasped quietly. Cairo! Cairo's voice dropped, barely a whisper. Let me in. Zane nodded, eyes fluttering shut. Their auras met, and this time, neither of them pulled away. Light wrapped around them like a second skin. Heat rolled through their chests. Their pulses matched. Their breaths synced. Cairo felt Zane, his emotions, his fears, his hopes, and beneath all of it, want. Soft, overwhelming, undeniable want. Zane's hands clenched Cairo's shirt, pulling him closer. Cairo held him steady, guiding gently. It's okay, breathe. I've got you. Zane let out a quiet, trembling sound, leaning fully into Cairo's body. A warm rush surged between them, not physical but deeper, spiritual, intimate, a connection that felt like falling and being caught at the exact same time. The link sealed, softly, brightly, completely. When the light faded, Zane sagged forward, breathing heavily. Cairo caught him, holding him close. Zane whispered against his shoulder. We did it. Cairo brushed his fingers through Zane's hair. Yeah. A smile curled at his lips. We're officially bonded. Zane's laugh was soft and breathless. Does this mean you're stuck with me forever now? Cairo kissed the top of his head, gentle and warm. Looks like it. Zane melted into him. Cairo held him tighter. And for the first time, their energies perfectly calm, perfectly aligned. They both felt whole.